What? This is a no-go. I'm super excited to try and find the best ratchet strap. I've bought a whole bunch of them, got funny looks from the store. Amazon, of course, when I was ordering some from there, just wanted to keep adding more straps into my cart. But I'm super excited to show you all these different straps. I got a new truck recently, and because of that, my old straps, I think it's time to replace them. These have served me for years. There's some things I don't like about them. This is a pretty low-end one. This is a little bit of a slightly better one, kind of mid-grade. But I'll include those in the review of all these other ones so that you can see what features you should watch out for and how to find the strap that's gonna work the best for you, especially if it's something you're gonna be using for years and years ahead. You can save some money with these low-end straps, but they can be a real pain to use. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there's some that get pretty expensive, but are the special features worth the added cost? Well, we're gonna learn about all the different features, the things I like and the things I don't like, going from the low end to the mid to the high end ratchet straps. That way you can find the ones that'll work best for your particular needs. Now, I'll include a link down in the description where you can jump over to the tomski.com website and find links to all these different products. And one more thing, this video is just about picking the right ratchet strap for you. I've got a whole nother video that's gonna show how to actually use a ratchet strap. I'll talk through tips and tricks that most people don't know, but are generally super easy and will help make sure you have a successful experience securing your load. Be sure you stick around to the end. I've got a surprise in this box that I'll show you at the end of the video that every truck owner needs to have, because you'll want to have it when the time comes to use. And at that point, it's too late to run out and buy one. As we start out, I want to first show you this tie down that I've been using for years. Now, this is a low-end ratchet strap. I probably got it at Harbor Freight for $5 or $6. So the first thing to consider is what's the weight of load that you're going to need to tie down. This one tells me it's a 400-pound capacity. That's going to be my working load capacity. What have I liked about it? Well, it's worked well. What have I not liked about it? Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain to undo the ratchet. This is a little nicer with this rubber grip here and the rubber handle. Sometimes the ratchets in this guy stick on me and it can be a pain to release. And that's pretty common with a lot of ratchet straps. Let's look at some of these low-end straps. This one, you can probably guess where I got it from. So this is about the lowest of the low-end straps you can get. Costs $4. It actually has a slightly nicer feature than a lot of other low-end straps. 300-pound working load limit. The only reason to get straps like this is if you think you only use it a couple times. What do I not like about them is the way you release the strap here. These will bind up. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. They'll start kind of torquing diagonally on you. You're kind of forced to use two fingers, and then you've got this metal edge sticking onto you. When you have work gloves, probably not a problem, but using bare hands, you just jumped out of the truck, you got to deal with the load somehow, and that can really jab into you, especially if it's cold, icy, snowy weather. That's my number one complaint on these. Second complaint is just the mechanisms start to bind up over time. This is brand new, it's moving pretty nicely, but when they start to bind up, they can be a real pain to release. In fact, one of these mid-grade ones that I got, it's already binding up and it's brand new. Now this Husky strap does have a nice feature right here. Sewn right into the end is a loop. You can circle around and run your hook through it like so. You don't actually see that on a lot of tie-down straps, especially not on low-end ones. Now, you can often get back right up near the ratchet and slip it in there to secure a load as well. This is a nice feature. These low-end straps that have just the metal here, you notice the spring right in the middle? Again, watch on all the other straps, there'll be a plastic thing, there'll be different springs, something to make it easier to move and use. You want to be sure when you're choosing a strap what working load limit you need. Now for most people, a low to medium straps can do just great. 300, 400, 500 pounds working load. You'd hate to save $2 or $3 with a low end strap that has a lower working load, only to lose your whatever you've got tied down and cause all sorts of problems. Maybe spill it on the freeway or just have it fall off your truck or somehow it manages to break. Don't skimp on that. The other thing to consider is the length. How long of a strap do you need? Look at the bed of your trailer, your truck. How far are you tying things down? Now, when you're looking at low-end straps, this tie-down strap is a lashing strap, and it's only about 6 feet long. Pretty short strap. You'll notice there's no hook on the end, and it has a lever here with a spring to hold it tight. I think this was about $250 each in a 4-pack. I'm sure there's some very specific use cases that are great for them, but I don't like them. Without a hook, you lose some functionality. If it gets bumped, you're gonna lose whatever you're tying down. So don't accidentally buy one of these lashing straps if you're intending to buy a ratchet strap. But these can be great, right? Maybe you just need to bind a couple things together, don't have a heavy working load. They've got their place. You can also take them in shorter lengths like the 6 foot, and you can daisy chain them one after the other to extend and make a longer strap. I would encourage you to take a look at least a mid-tier strap, if not the high end, depending on the features you need and how long you think you'll be using them. I almost forgot, as we talk about these low-end straps, I'm not even gonna open this one, this Everest one. Wait till you see what their mid-tier does to me in just a moment, but it's got the same metal edges in here. I think the quality of the ratchet's gonna be even worse than the ones that we just looked at, and it's just asking for trouble. Now, I also wanna mention that none of these companies gave me product or paid me to make this video. If I ever take on a sponsored video or get a free product, I'll make sure to let you know. But this is completely unbiased. They don't know I'm doing this review. They're not paying me. I just want to show you the best ratchet straps. Links down below if you want to help support this channel. Jump over to tomski.com. I'll have links to all these products. Look down in the description of this video. And if you need a spare car key, we can help you with that too. In any case, I certainly appreciate any support you give by buying something through one of my links. All right, this is my personal ratchet strap. It's got the pretty standards. It's got the plastic coated hooks to help protect from scratches and such. The ratchet mechanism here, take a look at this. Look at how much bigger this is. Still sticks, as you just saw there, but look at how big these holes are. Now, I live in Utah. Sometimes it's wintertime. We got snow, ice, cold, freezing. You're wearing big gloves, trying to keep your fingers warm, and it can be a pain to deal with these straps. Well, these are big enough. I can get a single finger in there and release it and get two up here. So this is one thing I really love about these straps, is just the size. This one's done a decent job at not sticking or binding up too much. My working load limit is 500 pound Hallmaster brand. I think you get those at Harbor Freight. So this one served me well. I've liked it. Let's take a look at these other mid-grade ones. Here's one that I bought. I'm returning it right away. This is just a pain in the neck, even straight out of the box. Let me show you. This is an Everest strap with this 1,000 pound working load. Same brand as this. Here's what I noticed right away. It's got some nice features. This big metal part here, big metal grip, great big finger slots to grab onto things. But this is what I noticed. It wants to bind up on me right away, almost straight out of package. Just opened it, it's already really, really frustrating, right? I'm not a big fan of this for that one reason alone. It's all metal, there's no plastic to wear off. It'll scratch and scrape paint and such, but depending on what kind of stuff you're hauling, that may not be a problem. Has metal hooks at the end. It does have this one feature that I find pretty cool, and that's this loop. Of course, with this loop, you can wrap around and you can use that to help secure your strap. You don't see this on many ratchet straps. There's not much more that I like. This is a nice feature. I wish a lot of other tie downs had the same thing. You could probably do it yourself by buying a metal loop, and some of these other straps, you're gonna see a different solution to help with the tie down process. So let's take a look at this webbing. If I feed it through my strap, this can be a pain if your fingers are cold, if the slot maybe is misaligned, that sort of thing. But let's take a look at doing up the ratchet. Like one of these Chinese puzzles. That is a downside of using this. There we go. Okay, so we got our strap in here. I lost it there. And I want to release this. This is where I absolutely despise this one. There. I can get it released. Okay, I'm not gonna bother taking these ones out. They're pretty typical mid-tier strap. This is Smart Straps, 500 pound working load, 1,500 pound brake strength. The ratchet moves easily. Got a big rubber spot for your finger to release it. Hooks on them, S-hooks, they're plastic coated. There's no special clip or anything with them. No really special features, but nothing to be a real pain in the neck. This whole tie down box set, it's got some nice things in it. These Velcro straps so you can wrap them around to secure your tie down. These soft loops, which you can use to go around and hold on to something to secure your strap. One feature of these, they have the coated metal S-hooks, and that clip can be nice depending on what you're securing to. Most of the time, it's just gonna end up being stuck open like that as you hook into something. But sometimes, if you're going into one of these soft loops, they'll clip, and I suppose theoretically should help prevent something from popping out. This does not have the hook loop sewn into it. It does have this bigger sewn loop right here. So that effectively serves the same purpose as that Husky one had a little loop. Decent handle, you have to grip it. You can't put fingers through it, but it looks like you could use this with a single hand. Mechanism moves easy enough, unlike that last Everest one that was really sticky. I don't remember the working limit on these ones. 600 to 8 pounds, just in case you need that extra 8 pounds on a working limit and a brake strength of 1,800 pounds. You might think they've messed up. They put a half twist in this loop. Well, that makes it so when you pull this soft loop through, you do a little girth hitch or bird's eye hitch like that, it makes it actually line up really nicely. And then we can take our hook and secure our load like that. Now, this is a great solution, a dynamic like that. See how we have the clip here? Depending on what you're securing, that clip may just ride open. If I drop the strap, this is not coming out, it's staying put. So when I go to the other side to secure my load, I can pull it tight without any trouble of this coming off. Final thought, I think you can't go wrong with a lot of these mid-tier straps. They've got some nice features. I think the little box set is the way to go because you get some added bonus features. So this mid-tier is a really good option for most uses. But we're gonna move on to these high-end ones that have some pretty amazing features that could convince me it's worth paying a few extra bucks to get a high-end strap. Because if I'm gonna have this thing, it's gonna be used for 10 or 15 or 20 years, I want these nicer features. But if you don't wanna go from the $10 per strap to 15 bucks per strap or so, mid-grade box set like this is a really good solution. Before we jump to the high end, I want to show you this beast. This guy is from DeWalt. It has a 10,000 pound brake strength. It conveniently shows on the strap here the 3,300 pound working load. This should be able to hang a small car from this strap. This is beefy. It does have solid metal hooks here. This is the kind of thing you're probably not going to use for regular day-to-day. You've got super heavy stuff, specialty things, want this kind of tie-down strap. But for most of us, probably not necessary. And check out these kind of fun features it's got. This ratchet works like any other ratchet. Notice right down here, this little bar, got a spring here pushing it. That's what secures and helps the ratchet stay put. When we close this, it doesn't want to close all the way. None of the other ones we've looked at have this feature. If I pull it and close it, now it's locked. It's not going anywhere. See that? All the other straps we've looked at, fully closed, one lift like that, and it'll tighten, but not this guy. I like the way it locks and secures your handle. I guess if you need a 3,300 pound working load, a 10,000 pound brake strength strap, there's probably a good reason to have it secure and lock like this. Obviously, this thing has a massive handle. Entire hand goes through it and work with a single finger if need be, or all your fingers. And then if we ratchet it up, this moves super easy. I really like the way it feels. Now, let's say we need to release it. Let's test that out. There we go, and we're done. If somehow you need a heavy duty strap, I like this one, but take a look at this. Even with this massive trailer, I can't fit it through there. So you'll need a soft strap with similar brake strength, or you'll end up kind of fighting to make sure everything stays secure as you tighten it down. Now I'm really excited. I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars buying all these different ratchet straps to really try and find out what might make some of them better than others. I've got 4 of these high-end ones. They tend to run 15 to 20. These are quite a bit more, $15, $20 per strap when you buy them in a 4-pack, typically. Every one of them has some kind of patented feature. And so with all these patented things, we should see a lot of differences from one strap to the next now. So let's dive in and see what they look like. For all 4 of these different straps, this is going to be my first time using any of them. So we'll take a look at the features. I'll try strapping this down and tell you what I think. Maybe in the future, I'll do a follow-up video with whichever one of these I end up finding to be the ones that I really like to use. Let's start with this high-end smart strap. And the feature this one touts is it pulls back in. It says to ratchet it. Oh, when you open it all the way, it tightens up. Let's try putting this one into action and see how it plays out. Pull the release lever, open it fully, and hook the strap. And that keeps some tension on here while we pull it. What? This is a no-go! Look, I can't even get it across the entire trailer. This is a hard pass for me. I've almost stretched it out on my entire body. There. It's a 6-foot long strap. Sorry, smart straps. This one's not for me, and I can't recommend it. What am I gonna do with it? The whole point of the quick release is to be able to reach a long distance. I don't need the tension with this self-retracting. It's a cool idea, but it's not gonna work for me. Number 2, this one's from Keeper. And see, the patented feature on this is a slot right here for quick in-feed. The idea is that the slot is going to make it fast and easy to thread the webbing in. Big space for fingers. This has these safety clips, so that's a nice feature. Has a 500-pound working load. Let's try putting this one to use. look at this 12-foot strap. Boy, I didn't expect that. I'm a little disappointed about this. 12 feet, that's decent, but boy, a lot of these other low-end straps are 15 feet. I don't think this easy load is all that helpful. It's loaded in. It wants to pop out on me. Like, that's twice now it's done it. It's loaded in, but really is pulling it through all that hard? Let's compare. It just fell out on me. That's just my opinion. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Would you use this one, or is there one of these straps that you like the best, and why? Let's take a look at this torque strap. Safe, easy, smart. Notice there is no ratchet. Rather, it's got one of these levers to pull the webbing through, and then teeth to hold it nice and secure with a hefty spring. But what's really different is right here, a great big spring. So 120 pounds of pull, but it's stronger. I can pull that apart. We've got a safety clip, some extra length of webbing with a loop here. So kind of a soft loop to tie things down. Let's take a look and see how this torque strap actually performs. Actually, this is a longer strap. It's 14 feet compared to the 12 of that last one. I'm gonna try tying off on this point just for something a little different. Let's tighten this thing down. I can feel the spring in here. It's definitely stretched. I'd hate to get my fingers pinched in there. I guess that's part of why they have this nice safety sleeve on it. There's also this webbing strap here. That's probably so you can't overextend the spring. We can see that spring tightening down. It's not till about here that it's really losing a lot of tension. It's taking a good bit of pressure on my thumb and kind of aggravating that minor injury. Once I've pulled the webbing all the way out, it's a little tricky to get that strap slid back through. Not too bad, but I could see it being a real pain in cold weather. This is one of the downsides of this. I want to load it down this way, but then I don't think it's going to be pulling. So that's a definite downside. The way this clip comes once the webbing's out. There. I like this one, other than if you have to feed the webbing back through here. That's a real pain. Okay, here's the last one. This one's called an Omega strap. It's got a 15-foot length, so that's nice. And it has not one, not two, but 3 patented features. One of which is down here. We've got this little tail here that we can shape. With this little hook here, let's see what we can do. Oh look, it even rotates around a little bit. That's gonna stay put for me. Isn't that nice? That'll stay nice. Include a soft loop. Same thing, we got a half twist here. Seeing how that works so we can tie things down. Oh, look at that, popped out on me. We saw the hook pop off on the other side. That was the first time I'm trying to use it. I don't know if that's gonna be a permanent issue or just kind of the way I had it secured with that wire. The ratchet is where we've got other patented features. One of which is this little bungee. We can take our excess webbing, pull the bungee cord around, and that's gonna hold it. I think that'll hold it going down the freeway. So that looks pretty nice. I think might be the most interesting is this big knob, right? This somehow is supposed to allow it to slowly release so you can make sure your load is in a good safe state before you actually fully release it and pull the webbing out. Have you ever had a ratchet strap jam up on you? It just doesn't want to release. Once we've fully opened the strap, we can take the knob and use that to help back off any jam until we can get it free. So one of the things that can be kind of frustrating about using ratchet straps is feeding the webbing through the slot in the axle. You're trying to stick it through with your fingers. So this guy lets you get it part way through, and then you can rotate it to get the rest of the way. It's kind of nice. The next thing that's helpful with this knob is you can begin tensioning. So, and now I'll ratchet the rest of the way. I think this Omega strap, one other feature could be kind of nice. Maybe if I'm holding it the correct direction, we can keep them a little bit nice. So one other feature that I think could be nice to keep things organized is just this built-in bungee cord. You can wrap it around like that, and now this webbing's all gonna stay in place, keep it nice and neat. You've seen all sorts of ratchet straps today, from the low end to the mid-grade to the high end. So the ultimate question is, which one should you get? What's really gonna be good for you? I'm gonna show you my favorites and the ones there's no way way I would touch. Down here at the low end, there's no way I'd get any of these. You've got this $4, $5 Husky one from Home Depot. I guess it works if you just need something in a pinch. You're not going to use it a lot, and it's like a short-term use. These lashing straps, I'm struggling to see how I'd end up using those. This Everest, there's no way I'd use it. Again, it's $5 or $6. That brings us to the other Everest one. This guy, it was such a pain to use the Ratchet. No way I'm recommending this one. This Everest one is a waste of $8. It's almost the same as buying a 4-pack when you can get some mid-tier ones and even some of the premiums for a similar price. The Ratchet just would not work. That brings me to these guys, the self-retracting one and these basic ones. When I look closer, these were only 6 feet long. Again, a 6-foot-long ratchet strap? I don't think so. What are you gonna tie down? I guess if you're tying a motorbike or something, right? Like tying something small, maybe tying the wheels on a Can-Am. I guess securing that, perhaps that's where a 6-foot one makes a lot of sense. But I'm thinking of it from hauling loads on a trailer or in a truck, and 6 feet just is enough. Same thing with this. 6 feet on this retractable one. Again, I guess if you're tying down a motorbike tire, that might make a lot of sense. They're really not that expensive in this 4-pack, under $10 a strap. So it's not that bad. But the retractable feature, I'm not buying it. It doesn't seem that helpful to me. This heavy duty DeWalt one, I liked it. If I had something really heavy that I was trying to secure, I'd go for this. It seems nice and stable, nice and secure, easy to undo the ratchet, easy to release. I love that it's got this locking feature for a really heavy load. That's a good one. It's a little on the spendy side, $20, but 10,000 pound brake strength, over 3,000 pounds of working load strength. That brings me to the Keeper with this patented quick feed. I don't like it. I don't think it really saves that much. The strap was only 12 feet long, which is a little short for tying down loads. And sometimes the strap was actually slipping out on me. That could be a real problem. This patented feature, I'm not buying it. The straps I actually recommend. For an affordable, solid mid-tier option, I'd go with the tie-down brand straps on Amazon. They seem to be good quality for the price. They have a 600-pound working load limit, and they come with soft loops in a storage bag. They're simple, dependable, just your typical mid-grade ratchet strap. It's worth buying. But if you don't mind stepping up just a little bit to some higher end straps, the Omega straps are a great contender. They're only slightly more expensive, offer a 650-pound working load. They've got 3 patented features that make them stand out. First, the control knob gives you smooth control for loading, tightening, and releasing your load. Second, the flex hook wire keeps the hook in place while you set up your strap. And then third, the built-in bungee for storage is super convenient. They also include some soft loops and the storage bag. They were almost my top pick, almost. My #1 recommendation isn't a traditional ratchet strap at all. It's the torque strap. I was super impressed with this thing. It uses a spring-loaded, self-adjusting system that tightens as your load shifts. And that's huge. It keeps everything secure for all the bumps and turns while you're driving. It's got a 500-pound working load, and heavier duty versions are available. It's fast to use, just pull it tight. No ratcheting, actually. And it's got an integrated soft loop. It's also great for anyone who might be helping you with your load. It's not super familiar with ratchet straps. There are a couple of very small drawbacks. One, threading the strap through the mechanism takes a moment to figure out. And 2, the strap length was 14 feet instead of 15. But the self-tightening feature is such a big advantage to me that it won. It costs a little bit more, but not enough to sway me away from it, especially after dealing with load shifting in the past. Here's a story. Once I was helping someone move. The last thing loaded into the U-Haul was a glass aquarium with a live boa constrictor. Now I've got no idea why that was the plan. During the drive, the load shifted, the tank broke, and guess what? The snake escaped, lost in the U-Haul. We managed to recover it unharmed. The whole thing happened for one reason. The load shifted during the drive. Okay, now what we've been waiting for. This net. This thing's supposed to have some great elasticity to it. Let's see how it goes. This is not how you should tie down anything that has much weight. But as someone that has a truck without a tonneau cover, sometimes you're carrying things and you need to keep it in place. So this should work really great in a truck bed as well. Let's take a look at that. But I'm pretty impressed with how stretchy this is, and it's gonna keep small stuff from flying out and getting all over the place. So that's my surprise. Let's look at it in the back of the truck bed. Maybe you've got a load of some odds and ends, so you need to keep them from sliding around or from blowing out if it's lightweight, like some boxes. without much in them. But this cargo net, I could have used this so many times, and I'm glad to finally have one, because you never know when you're gonna have to take a load that just needs little help to keep it in place. And I love how stretchy this is, so you could really pile up stuff and hold things from blowing out of the truck with this great big net. If you found this video helpful, be sure to check out my next video. I'll pop on the screen right here. It's all about how to properly use ratchet straps. Most people do it wrong. And I've got a handful of tips that are gonna make it super easy for you to use a ratchet strap and make your life simple and properly keep your loads secure.